I hope you guys connected to one another and shared your information in the chat. And if you guys just got in recently, you're welcome to share your LinkedIn page and was all right. Share your LinkedIn page and connect with the speakers. And the speakers can also share their information in here. It'd be great to connect with each other and say hello, get to know the speakers. That's what they're here for. That's what visibility is all about. Let me get this intro. All right. All right, we're going to bring Coleen up in just a second here. I think you sent me
Little one. You can use your own. You're
the
good.
little one on top. Yep.
Or
You
whatever.
got it. You got it. I got it. All right. Yep. I just want to make sure I'm reading the right thing. It
Don't read
helps,
the
right?
outro.
Want to read the right thing. All right. Here's Colleen, and thanks for stepping up. And that's what happens when you're ready for your visibility. You're here, you're ready to be seen and heard. And here we go. We're going to spotlight you. Absolutely. All right. And so today's guest, Coleen Stubbs, speaks directly to entrepreneurs who are successful on paper, but exhausted behind the scenes. Who here hasn't been there? A little overwhelmed, a little burnout. And she built and sold multiple businesses over almost 4 decades and discovered a truth most of us don't want to admit. You cannot become influential on one end if your back end is scattered, right? You got to have the good foundation. You got to have the strategy and the structure set up. She's a creator of Simplified CEO Systems and the presenter of From Scattered to Strategic, 3 steps to your dream back office, where she teaches business owners how to simplify, automate, and delegate so they can finally show up as confident, visible leaders without burnout. Definitely. Today she's going to be talking about unlocking your voice, igniting your influence, and why structure, not hustle, is what actually creates visibility. Please welcome Coleen Stubbs.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nicole. I'm so grateful and beyond blessed to be here. The main goal and mission in my business and in building this business was to be of service to other entrepreneurs and to really take the 37 years experience I have and condense it and teach it to other entrepreneurs. The lessons I learned, the smartest people watch other people's mistakes and learn from them, right? Of course, you do your own failing and you pick up and keep going, but my whole goal is to help other entrepreneurs build a business and a life that they're madly passionate about. And so the key to success that I found after business number 6, it took me all the way to business number 6. And that would have been at I want to say 27 years of building businesses. But the key to success was simplification. And so let me take you to a minute that really, it was a pivotal moment. It was literally just a minute. It was 60 seconds that changed everything I knew about being an entrepreneur. And that time was 5:53 p.m. I was closing up my shop, front porch whimsy. And as I looked up from the cash register, I was just emptying. I saw clients pull in the parking lot. Not a big deal. We're always happy to have clients, and I always stay open late for clients. But here's the thing. That day, my daughter had called earlier and asked if I could give her a ride to a ball game. She'd met a new boy and she wanted to talk about him. I was so excited, but I had to leave right then or I wouldn't make it. So my clients came in and I sat there just staring at the clock. And the same time, my phone rang. And my daughter said, Mom, are you coming? Or do I need to catch the bus? It was just devastating to me. And I told her, I said, Oh, honey, just catch the bus and I'll catch up with you after the game. And her quiet oh just shattered my world. It was not being able to be available when she needed me that made the biggest difference. And I made a pivotal decision right then. The next day, I put a for sale sign up. It was a quick and easy sale. I had a great business. And I stood there looking at the check and I wondered, the numbers on the check didn't matter. But what I was reflecting on was like, am I going to be richer intellectually for having made that decision, for standing on what I knew needed my full undivided attention and deserved my attention, and that would be my businesses. It was a quick sale, and I didn't have another business for a little while, quite a while actually. And then 2 years actually, and 1,400 miles later, I stood in a building that I was renovating to be a boutique. And it was an old building downtown, dusty old building. And I was leaning against the wall and watching things happen around me. I was watching cabinets be built. I was watching displays being welded. Cement floors were being repaired. Now, I'm not a cabinet builder, but I could build a cabinet if I need to. The Home Depot has videos. I could learn how to do that, right? Displays were being welded. I could have my husband come do that if I wanted to. Floors were being repaired, and I had done that before. I could do that myself. But what I realized and recognized right then was that those tasks on my to-do list were being checked off while I stood there leaning against the wall, sipping a cherry Coke. And I was actually proud of myself for not having to do it myself. In my first 6 businesses, I did everything. I was it. I was your it girl. I built the business, did the renovations, painting, decorating, all of the things, stocking, inventory. I did it, all of it. And what I found was if I wanted to go on vacation, I had to close the doors. Just like the night when my daughter needed me. If I wanted to be there for her, I had to close the doors. And so I was really filled with a sense of pride when I realized that it really felt good to get out of my own way, right? And so this wasn't luck. This was a framework that took me 2 years of planning to have another business and thinking about what I would do differently and how I could get around it, studying things, learning things. And that's what I teach today. It's a framework of 3 steps. It's 3 steps to building a dream back office. Step number 1 is to simplify. Step number 2 is to automate. And step number 3 is to delegate. These aren't tactics. These are a foundation that makes your visibility sustainable as well as the growth of your business. So let's talk about simplify. So to simplify, and some people may say, and it's the same both in a brick and mortar business or online. And some people may be like, well, you can't simplify too much because all of the things have to be done. But here's the thing, you can't scale anything that you haven't simplified. If you're looking around your back office and you're worried that you're dropping leads, you're trying to look for a sticky note, things like that, then obviously you need to simplify. Okay. So tech stacking causes chaos. Do you know what tech stacking is? If anybody's tech stacked, and I'll explain that a little bit more. But if you have, I want you to drop your favorite emoji in the chat because, and no shame in the game, because I'm there. At one point, I had 14 tech tools I used and stacked on top of each other and tried to duct tape and zape together and all these things. So that's tech stacking. When you have maybe you have your calendar on one platform. Maybe you're using a different platform to teach courses. Maybe you're using a different platform to send invoices. So you have all the different platforms or tools, and you're just stacking them on top of each other and hoping that this one connects to this one, connects to this one. Go ahead and drop an emoji in the chat. If that's you, this is for you. Okay. Duct tape also counts, Mike, if that's you over there with duct tape, trying to duct tape the email over here to your website. Duct tape is also tech stacking. So go ahead and drop your emoji if you've done that. So what that causes is decision fatigue. You get tired of trying to make it connect, tired of deciding what exact tool you're going to use and how you can connect it, right? It causes fragmented data, which equals fragmented energy. So more tools don't actually simplify. It actually just causes chaos, right? So I left that building, my new Chicken Lips Boutique building downtown, and thought, these guys are busy. I'll go get some things on my list done. Went around the corner to the mayor's office. And I was going to go get a business license. And I went in and I was like, hey, I'm Colleen. This is what I'm doing. Da-da, I need to apply for a business license. And he was like, hold up. You can't just come in our town and put this business in and blah, 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 all these things. You have to do this. Gave me a great big long list. And I was obviously mind blown. And so he starts scribbling on a paper and then just shoves it at me and said, come back when you've got that done. And it was the look in his eyes was a look of dare. Like, you can't even do this. And walking back around the corner of the block to my business and feeling the overwhelm and the ache from the burnout setting in and realizing that this was monumental. All these things, there were like 5 things I had to do. They didn't know how to do. And I knew I could figure them out, but just feeling like I wasn't going to be able to go back and finish a few little tasks I had to do and go home. I was going to have to do all these things. And yet, as I walked up to the door of Chicken Lips, to the right-hand sign was a big gold sign that said CPA. And I thought, I wonder what services they offer. I wonder if they can do any of these things. And so I went in, met a really sweet lady, Betty, and I said, and trust me, the paper was crumpled, the tears were falling, and I just said, I need some help. Is there anything on this list that you can do? And I shoved the paper at her. And she grabbed it and looked at me and said, yeah, but we can do all these things, but tell me what you're doing next door. And just so friendly. And I told her what I was doing and what my plan is. And she said, oh, you know what? We can also do payroll. We can also manage your bank account. We can also do your inventory. And the list went on and on. And I thought, okay, now how much is this going to cost? And when I asked, I realized that the price that I would pay for that was far less than the hours and the hourly rate I would charge to do it. And so I handed them the paper. And so the truth is, every time you add another tool, your system gets weaker, not stronger. So if someone were to ask you, I'm going to ask all of you this question right now, and I want you to be truthful. If someone were to ask you how your business actually runs, and you don't have to put this in the chat, but just stick with me on this, how your business actually runs when you go from not knowing somebody to meeting a prospect and the entire system that goes through to them becoming a client and staying a happy client. Can you explain that clearly without hesitation? Can you explain that? Do you know how they're coming in? Do you know how they're getting welcomed? How they're getting followed up with? Do you know how the relationship is being built? Do you know and are you confident in that system? Do you know what the next step is? Do you know where they are in the steps? And then once they become a client, do you know where they are in your business as they go through your business and use your services? And do you know what that exact process is? Because that's a trick. And that brings us into step number 2, which is automate, right? Because so many times as entrepreneurs, we pull out these little sticky pads, right? We have sticky pads everywhere, sticky notes everywhere with things. We're jotting things down. Or maybe you have a book for meetings and a book for notes on processes or all these different things. But once you automate, that cuts that need out, right? You no longer need to rely on these little sticky notes, everything to remember things. So automation, and I've heard this a lot about automation, clients and prospects tell me they don't want to automate because they're afraid that it becomes impersonal, right? That it just puts them into a system that's just going to be like, oh, here's this, but it removes them from that. And I'm going to share with you a little secret. This is something that I teach all of my clients to do. So the secret in automation isn't about removing you. It's about protecting your space, your time, your boundaries, and making you available for the things that really matter in your business and your life. So let's say one of the things that gets automated the most is emails or messages. We talked about DMs with Lois, right? Let's say that you're going to write email. You need to email people. And you know that this is an email on the same topic that you've sent over and over, and it's just time consuming. And so what you're going to do instead is I want you to take a time when you are calm, clear-headed. I want you to create an environment that you would enjoy speaking to your best friend or loved one in. And I want you to grab a pen and paper, and I want you to sit down and write out that email. You can start with an outline and you can write out the main pain points, what you want to talk to them about. And then I want you to read back through that as if you're in conversation with your friend or your loved one and think about their rebuttals to anything you say and go in and address those also. and write out this email and write it just as if you were sitting and visiting with them, right? And then I want you to go back and take that, clean it up a little bit, put it in your Google Doc, and we're going to automate the heck out of it because now you've used your voice. You've treated them as a friend, and they can feel that in the tone that you carry in writing your emails, right? And so then you go automate the heck out of that email or that email sequence. Maybe it spreads out. Maybe it's more than one email. Maybe it's a rebuttal in each email, something or a different pain point in each email. But go through and write those out and then go automate them. And that makes it heartfelt. And your clients can read that. So your point of sale system, do you know what that is? When you're in business in a brick and mortar and you go to the register to check out and they say, "Can I get your phone number? Or can I get your email address? Or will you enter it in the pad?" is what they say now. When I opened Chicken Lips, my boutique, we didn't have a little pad they could enter it in. It was the olden days. We had an iPad. We felt that was cool, but we would put that information in there. And what I realized when I opened my point of sale system before I opened my business and I started studying that and seeing its capabilities and what it could do, I realized that it actually works as a customer relationship management system, the same as Go High Level does online, right? And so that customer relationship management, you could program in their birthdays, you can send emails, you can send discounts, coupon codes, specials, you can just check in with them, you can send them reminders, all of these things. It really just leveraged the customer data that you had collected from them. And what happened then is if you scheduled that in there, the follow-up started happening without you, right? The workflows start replacing what it mentally diminishes from you to do those things yourself. And the thing is, when you use a CRM or a point of sale and you're automating things and they're going consistently, you're also building trust because they know you're going to show up. Just like my clients know they're going to get an email or a newsletter from me on Thursdays. They know what to expect. They know there's going to be a farm update, a business update, and then like upcoming things for the weekend there, maybe a spotlight or a highlight of somebody I met. They know, and you're building consistency, which builds trust, right? So automation is how your business keeps its promises, even when you as a human would forget and drop the ball. Your back end chaos, if you can lessen, that gives you the freedom to show up in the front office. Does that make sense? Who wants more time in their business to actually just build relationships? If that's you, if you feel like, yeah, I want to get out there and build some relationships, I'm tired of the bookwork, I'm tired of keeping inventory, I'm tired of worrying about these things, then put that little favorite emoji back in the chat for me. So if you want to show up calmer, clearer, and more confident, if you want more time to show up knowing that your business is running quietly in the background of your life, drop your favorite emoji in the chat. And that's going to take us to step number 3. Step number 3 is one of my favorites, and I do it a little different than most people. Step number 3 is delegate. And this is where you stop being the bottleneck in your business because you stop feeling like you have to do it all or you have to approve it all. And you're probably thinking, it's my business. I do have to approve it all. And I get that. I understand that. Let me explain this process I came up with in this business number 7, Chicken Lips, my boutique. So we're talking 30 years into building businesses now. I had seen the same thing go over and over. I would build a business, I would stock the business, I would do all the customer service, I would do all the inventory, all the bookwork, every bit of it. And so it was a huge, uncomfortable leap of faith for me to start hiring employees, but I did it. And I never hired anybody for a position. And my dad taught me this. He said, you just hire someone and see what they're really good at, right? And so what I would do is I would put an ad out, let people in the community know that Chicken Lips is hiring a team member. And when this team member gets hired, they come in and I watch them for 2 weeks. Just go around and do everything. Maybe they're stocking shelves, maybe they're ringing people up, maybe they're decorating t-shirts, maybe they're gift wrapping, maybe they're doing inventory or shipping, right? But I watch them, and what I'm watching for is to see where they're really good. Where are they the happiest? Where do they really shine? Because here's the thing, if you're going to do something with my name and my brand on it, I want you to be really good at it better than I am is best because I want you to really shine and make me look good, right? And so at the end of 2 weeks, I sit down with these people and I'd be like, okay, what did you enjoy the most? And I cannot remember a single time when I was wrong, but I'm going to say 98% of the time I was right. And I could see by the joy that they exuberated when they told me what they loved and when they were doing these things, that was what they were the best at. It's the same way when you're hiring people online or delegating online. And so here's the thing for me, please do not come to me and hire me for my AI capabilities. Do not do that because you're going to give me gray hair, number one, and because you just heard from Lois, number two, right? And so why would you listen to her talk about AI and how much she loves it and how passionate she is about it? And you can tell that she's really good at it, especially compared to me. So don't put me in that situation. Use her. So that's what we're watching for online when we're delegating. You want to see the people who are truly passionate about what they do, so passionate that their customer service is excellent and they excel in their field. And those are the people that you want to be able to delegate to. And that, my friend, is how you stop being the bottleneck in your business. You quit control masquerading as leadership. Delegation is a strategy. It's not failure. It's not saying you can't do it. It's not taking away your capabilities because you can do it. But what we're shifting the focus on isn't who does it. We're shifting on who does it with the best outcome. That's what we want is the very best outcome. And so here's the thing. All the years leading up to this, first 30 years I spent building businesses. I wasn't the hero of my business. I felt like I was doing all the things, but what I truly was the ceiling. My business couldn't grow or scale without me right there all the time. And it couldn't do it because I was so spread out, so overwhelmed and burned out. So ask yourself this. You don't have to put it in the chat, but just ask yourself this. If you disappeared for 2 weeks, just went off grid, no phone, no internet, what does your business look like when you come back to it? And some of you may have your systems in place and maybe it's really good, but for me, all those years, I had to literally close my business to go do anything, to even go give my daughter a ride to a ball game. Okay. So when simplification, automation, and delegation work together like a superhero, your business can scale successfully. Your CRM is not a step. It's not a step in the process. It's actually the system that holds all of your steps together. It's one platform that integrates workflows, tags, sends reminders, nurtures your prospects and your clients. It offers relationship depth because you're building consistency and trust. And being visible is something you can finally confidently do because at the end of the day, that all the rest of it is running smoothly. Your CRM works behind the scenes, giving you the freedom to be the face and voice of your business. And nowadays, when we're in the relationship age, building relationships is so important, and you have got to perfect being the face and voice of your business without the overwhelm, worry, and burnout of your back office not running correctly. So, does anybody have any questions at this point?
Yeah, you know what? I do, Colleen. It's interesting because we look at people having the business and the structure and the automation, and we don't always think about it when that's changed. And I love that you share that story because you just put the sign up there and you were like, hey, I'm done. I need to do this. But the blessing about being online is we can be so much more organized, but we're probably worse for the wear, right? With everything out
Right.
there and the tech
Right.
stacking. What is that mindset change to say, hey, I really need to influence not only me, my family, but now the group of people online that I'm working with and the people that you're sharing, everybody here today, especially myself, to say, hey, what is that mindset transition? Who do you need to become, really, right?
You know what? I think that you really have to have faith in yourself and your ability to make good decisions. And you have to have faith in your ability. Here's one way of looking at it. if I hired somebody that didn't do something correctly and I had to go clean up the mess, whatever happened, I could clean it up. I know I could. And that's the first step, is knowing that you do have the ability within yourself and the capabilities to go and fix those things if there was a mistake made, right? But having faith in your product, your belief, your brand, whatever it is that you're standing on and wanting to deliver is also a huge part of it, right? You have to have that mindset that this is so valuable. You need to share it with everybody, and then you need to really have faith that the end product these people are going to produce for you is what you want. And I think that for me, it was like, imagine if you woke up tomorrow and you didn't have any bills. You didn't have to work for money. How freeing would that be? Like, what would you do with your day? What would you do with your time?
Oh my
Like,
gosh, that'd be so great. And when we look at even in when we talk with the groups of confronting domestic violence, it's like how freeing is that finance for all of us at any level, wherever we're at.
and that's the thing, Nicole, is that the automation, delegation, simplification is that freeing in your business.
That's
It is
awesome.
literally that freeing when you don't have to worry, when your job is to just open emails that you get and respond to those specifically and go out and be on summits, be on podcasts, make phone calls, actually talk to people, go to your BNI meetings, places where you're drawing more prospects, and just be the face and voice of your business, because the rest is just fine. It's the
Right.
same as not having to worry about money in life. It's
Yeah,
a
that's awesome.
it's literally a dream come true that I'm in a position where I don't need to work. I do this because I'm passionate about it, because I felt the freedom. And every entrepreneur, especially midlife entrepreneurs, you guys, you've got what, 30, 40 years left to nail this, and do it in a way that suits your needs. So you're not spread too thin, you're not burnt out, you're not overwhelmed. You can still pay attention to the things that really truly matter in life. That's the goal, is to have that kind of freedom.
Awesome. I want to thank you. I'm going to bring Masango up here because he's got
Sure.
a question.
Hi.
Oh, sorry, I have to unmute. No, I was, no, thank you. Thank you for sharing those. Simplify, automate, and delegate. That reminds me, a few years ago, I joined one organization and trying to figure out how I can assign people on position that they will thrive, that they will bring, that they'll be, that they will come alive, so to speak. And what I did is that I put employees in pairs of two, asking each one to interview the other one, asking them to tell them a story or an experience that really brought them to come alive. And then they will come back to the group, and then the interviewer will share the story of the interviewee. So that was an extraordinary experience because you could really see, number one, when the interviewee was telling a story that the IE was animated and so on, and the interviewer related that the way the other individual. So number one, that allowed me to really see what really the people are, that really they come alive. So therefore, the types of assignment or situations that really will be best for them and for the company, but also it allowed the other employees also to learn about the stories of others. I just remember that as I was listening to you there.
I love that. I think that it really helps build the dynamics in your team too,
Yes, yes,
because they know each other on a much deeper level, right? And
yes.
I can honestly say that I never had employees that just didn't show up to work or that just randomly quit, anything like that, because they were doing what they were passionate about
Yes,
and
yes,
really delivering their best all the time. And
yes, yes.
that's huge. And I think that when you hear speakers throughout the summit, we're going to hear different speakers that are truly passionate about what they do, and being able to take those speakers and position them inside your business. It doesn't, like, it's not, oh, I'm working with Nicole, she's taking attention away from me. It's no, I'm working with Nicole. She puts me on a summit where I look good because she's doing her best job. And that's the thing, is it really builds up your own business because you're just being exemplified by their goodness, their greatness, right? And that's huge. And so, what I do for the system that I offer is go high level. And I know so many entrepreneurs get Go High Level for free from their companies or somebody that they associate with, and they're like, "Oh, I have it free for free. I don't need to pay for it." But what we do is we take everything out. When you open Go High Level, it's very complicated and it can be overwhelming, especially if you're midlife and especially if you're new online. And so we take that everything out and we only create what you need and we put in exactly what you need and we do that for you. It takes us a week to do that. And we get your landing pages, your workflows, your calendars, your integrations, everything in there. And then we slowly teach you through short real life videos that I create or my team creates how to use the system. So if you have a hiccup, you can do that. We also offer 24/7 human support so that if you're ever stuck and I'm not available, and I am the first go-to person, but if I'm not available, you can get human support that can walk you through or fix the problem for you. And so that's huge. But just giving up control, learning. I'm Gen X and we had to figure things out on our own. And in doing that and going from being raised in a home where we had to figure things out on our own to raising a family where we just did it for everybody because we knew we had to figure it out. And then you go build a business and you want to figure it out yourself too. And the truth of the matter is, success is only possible when you simplify things. Simplify, simplify. Make it as simple as possible and delegate so that it just flows for you and you can show up and shine. Does anybody else have any questions?
Now's the time to ask the questions to make your life easy. Here comes Lorraine. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Make your life easy. We're told that we can do everything and we should do everything, but I think that's part of why we lost our engagement and connection because we can do it ourselves. Maybe you can do the woodwork and the cabinet, but what happened to knocking on your neighbor's door and asking for a little help, a little support?
Exactly. And Nicole, my dad told me this thing. I got in trouble as a teenager and he got me up early on a Saturday morning to teach me to change my tire. And when we were done with the lesson learning how to change the tire, he said to me, "Now you know how to change a tire." And I said, "Yeah." He says, "A smart girl never has to change her tire." And I was like, huh. And so I'm trying to be that smart girl, right? Get the other people to do it for me, right? But I want them to be good at what they're doing. I want them to really shine in what they do.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Absolutely. Shine on through with what you're doing. Does anybody else have any questions? You guys can type it in the chat. That's what we're here for is the engagement. Hello, Tina. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Lorraine. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being here. There's Mike. You went off. You unmuted. Go ahead.
My dad pretty much has said the similar thing. You're not handy, son. You better be smart. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to hire a lot of people to fix a lot of stuff. Good
There you
advice.
go. Yeah. Yeah. And so just to recap on that is that my whole goal in this business is to help entrepreneurs find freedom, the freedom to show up and shine in their business and to really just be the face and voice of their business. If you are, maybe you teach chair yoga and you don't want to send out emails, you don't want to take care of your leads, you don't want to do that. You just want to show up and do the actual chair yoga. Then we set your system up that way for you so that you can do that. And what happens too, another benefit that we didn't touch on is that then when you walk away from your business, not only does it keep running, so you can go take the bus ride, take your daughter to the game, you can go on vacation, you can do things like that. But also when you're with your loved ones, when you're away from your business, then your mind is free. You can actually be fully present because you're not caught up in all of that and worrying about whether things are going to run smooth, whether you're forgetting something, whether you're going to make it back in time for a certain whatever. It all just runs smooth on its own. And so that relief comes from having that all set up in advance. And so that's what we help entrepreneurs do is to just really be able to be fully present in the moments that matter the most. Because at this point in life, we realize that those moments aren't coming back. And as much as I love my business, I love my grandkids more. And I want to be there for them. I want to be able to drop things and go play with them and do things. So that is the idea. Any other questions?
Absolutely awesome. Well, welcome everybody that's just came in. Thank you so much for Colleen making that simple, everything simplified, right? Keeping it simple, stupid, as we used to say in law enforcement, but making life easy. So when it's time to show up and shine, you are ready to go there. Yeah, it is absolutely what a gift to be able to do that. And there's so many people that we work with and that are in this room. Wow, we're all over, pretty much all over 40. Those of us that are on the camera, we'd love you to come on camera if you can. But thanks for the support. Put information in the chat. We want you to connect. Get the gift that keeps on giving from Coleen. Thank you so much for coming in, for supporting. It's awesome to be here with you and sharing those tips and tricks. This is how you simplify your life. And this way, you don't have to do the tech. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to do the tech. They just want to hire somebody. But are you going to hire somebody that you just met in a conference call? Or are you going to hire somebody that you know is going to be there, that's had the businesses, that has the experience, that's going to support you on your journey? Get to know her. And also the VIP. What is your VIP gift that you're giving for those who upgrade to that?
I am giving a huge, obscene discount on setup and for our done for you system, and also a monthly discount. And that's a recurring discount that continues for the length of your subscription. So as long as you keep your service with me, you get that discounted rate. So
That's awesome. Oh, thank you for sharing that because it does. It takes a lot and it's going to take a little bit of money in there. And I think Mike has another question. Did you want to unmute Mike and ask that? Yeah, you just had your hand up.
Yeah, you look nervous. No, don't be nervous. Yeah, and if I sound biased, I am because I had to learn a system before I could use and the other people would do the go high level system. Like to me, I was like, oh, good, someone else is going to take the system. And then I had to learn a more complicated system for them to do the other go high. So yeah, I'm absolutely biased because you have sent me like 800 tiny little Zoom things and little Loom videos. You solved the problem. I don't have to jump through hoops. Thank you very much.
oh, thank you. That's good to hear. Yeah, I love to do that. And so when we're talking about these looms, and so if people don't know, what I do is yesterday, for instance, I had a client reach out and say, I can't get my human support online. And I said, let me just create a loom video for you. And I was actually in the summit and I just created a little video showing them how to connect it and sent it to him. And she's, oh my gosh, I knew I was missing a step. Thank you. But just being able to quickly create a little video that's instructional, and I may be in my PJs when I do it, you never know, but whatever, it may be late at night, but I just send a little video that shows you what you need to do or the step to fix something. And it's usually just a really quick fix. If it's more complicated than that, then I can jump in and do it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, make it easy. Here you are in human form, but sharing those tips.